Well, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director of Network Expansion, and thank you so much for your time. Sorry we missed you last week. Do all I can, but man, everything that's circulating around just finally found its way to my home, and thankfully, everybody feeling better, and we're ready to get back at it for this week's episode of On Deck with Avoya. We're just plugging away. We're enjoying watching the success of the Avoya Network as we get underway with wave season 2024. So far, the numbers are impressive and looks like 2024 is off to a great start. I certainly hope that you're feeling that same wave. And if not, hopefully you're smart enough to at least ask some questions of why and reach out because you don't want to miss that opportunity, right? Wave comes along once a year. Maybe reach out to the Avoya Network, find out, ask your questions, start the process. We've got a great story to tell, and we're more than happy to share details on why our affiliates just sell more and generate more in commissions. We've got a great show today as we do a deep dive into Avoya events. Events are certainly a major focal point for those in the Avoya network as we make those connections a vital resource that helps those in the Avoya network just continue to excel. It's an important topic that we don't just have one guest today, but two amazing people from our events team when we welcome in Cherie Graves, Director of Events, and Michelle Showalter, Manager of Events On Deck with Avoya. They'll be joining us here in just a minute. After our exclusive Q&A, we'll do our normal wrap with all the important information on promotions, the travel agent education powered by Avoya platform, the best-in-class resources exclusive for those in the Avoya network, of course, our social media contacts for Avoya Travel, and my personal contact information, because if I haven't made it crystal clear, we certainly hope to hear from you. We think we have some cool stuff to share, and we think it'll be a discussion that's worthy of your time as well. Hey, real quick before we jump into our Q&A and welcome Cherie and Michelle, I just wanted to mention the new Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas, right? The biggest cruise ship in the world. It's doing some preview sailings. It was docked for the first time at Coco Cay the other day. I know we have a lot of Avoya people sailing on the inaugural next week, and I just want to wish the Royal Caribbean team the best in that launch. So much great press this week for the cruise industry. I've been having a ball following Vicky Freed on her social. Vicky Freed from Royal Caribbean, who I think is like the best friend the travel agent industry ever had. So she's having a lot of fun. She's got her family on there. And, you know, it might not be for everybody that size of ship, but for those that love action, if you like choices and you're traveling with your family or maybe a multi-generational type trip, I think this ship will be an absolute blast. The first sailing with paid guests coming up here pretty soon on the 27th of this month. Okay, time for the main event. That's exactly what we're talking about, too. Events. So please help me welcome our two special guests this week from the Avoya Events team. Cherie Graves, Director of Events, and Michelle Showalter, Manager of Events to On Deck with Avoya. So great to have you both on the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having us. Super excited to be here.
Wonderful. Cherie, we'll start with you, and maybe you can give us just a quick little background on yourself and how you ended up with Avoya Travel and leading the events team.
Sure. I actually started my career in public relations for a tech company and then transitioned to the corporate event side, working for an agency that did corporate event and productions for about 8 years. And then I ran my own event production company for about 12 years before I came here. And this is just a perfect fit for me. And I'm excited. I've been here 8 months now, and the events that we're doing and the sheer number of them is incredible. It's a really great fit and a great group.
Awesome. Yeah, we think so too. As a follow-up, I'm always curious, Cherie, before you started working in the travel industry, did you have like this appreciation for personal travel? Was that something that was important to you and your family as you grew up?
Absolutely. I actually grew up a lot moving when I was a child. My dad was in the Navy. And then when I was in high school is where I think it started. There was a brochure in the counseling office for a travel abroad program for the summer to, at the time, dating myself, the former Soviet Union. And it was during glasnost and like perestroika, and they were just opening the country. It was the first exchange program. And the idea of getting to be one of the first to go somewhere was really intriguing. I don't know, as a 17-year-old girl, why I would pick the Soviet Union, but it was an eye-opening experience for sure. And since then, I've been to about 30 countries and always excited to go somewhere new. I was a big fan of Rick Steves and share his travel philosophy that travel broadens perspectives and teaches new ways to measure the quality of life. I think my appreciation for even home is bigger by going abroad. I feel really strongly about travel and actually took my kids to Thailand when my youngest just turned 4. And people are like, why are you going there with little kids? But it was great. And they were fantastic travelers. And now they have a love for travel. And I think they're pretty adaptable because of that experience too. So yeah, travel was a big draw.
That's amazing to be at the crossroads of history and to make a choice to want to be there as all of that was happening. And I could see how that could fuel a love that would continue, to this day. So good stuff there. Michelle, what about you? I ask you the same 2 questions as we get started. A bit on your background, how you ended up as the manager of events at Avoya, and a little bit about where your passion for personal travel came from.
Totally. So I actually started with Avoya in 2015. So I'm going on my 9th year here. I started more in the professional development side. So I worked a lot with the independent agencies on educational webinars and things like that. And then I kind of made my way into events. So I'm homegrown Avoya events from the get-go. And I really, really found my passion there. I love being able to put on these extravagant events that can bring together so many different people to build those everlasting relationships and also just help build their businesses. It's so fun to see and rewarding. So I just love that. As far as travel, I've always had a passion for travel. It started when I was young. My mom always insisted on taking us to these kind of weird landmarks in California. So like as a kid, I'm like, yeah, we're going to the La Brea tar pits, and people don't even know what the heck that is. So it kind of started there. When I was younger, I was able to get to Europe when I was about 16. And from there, I kind of didn't turn back. Like I wanted to see and go anywhere and everywhere that I could. I was fortunate enough in college to go to New Zealand, which I absolutely loved. I was there for 3 weeks, and I could probably move there tomorrow and be happy. So I've always kind of had a love for travel instilled in me from my parents just from a young age. And yeah, that's how I ended up here.
Awesome. Good landing spot to have that kind of passion and then end up with a company like Avoya Travel, and especially with the events and all the out and about we get to do with those. So let's chat really quick about events, because I think events are one of the big secret weapons for Avoya Travel and for those in the Avoya network. Tell me a little bit about what the event team does and how that has, in your guys' opinion, a net benefit for those in the Avoya network.
Sure. The events team is small. There's us 2 and 1 more, but we are a busy group. This year alone, we're putting together about 36 events that include both in-person and virtual. We understand the value of events, and we strive to create unique experiences for connection and collaboration. We are planning and executing and always trying to raise the bar from whatever we did one year. We want to make it even better the next. We really want to provide a platform for our network to learn and thrive and network with each other. And we design these events to foster meaningful relationships that empower our IAs with the knowledge to succeed. And I think they gain a lot of benefit from that, and access to industry trends and best practices, and it helps foster that sense of community that we think sets Avoya Travel apart.
Yeah, I cannot tell you the number of affiliates in the Avoya network that I've met over my tenure that said it was at such and such an event that the light bulb went on and it just hasn't dimmed since. So yeah, the events that we put together and the opportunities that it presents for those in our network, pretty amazing. The number you said is kind of staggering for what you've got on your plate for 2024, no doubt about that. Can you maybe give us a little bit of the highlight list of some of what you guys, again, think are the top events coming up exclusively for those in the Avoya network?
Absolutely. So as Cherie mentioned, we have a lot happening in 2024. We're very excited to bring back our annual events that we've been doing for quite a while now. So we are bringing back the Avoya Travel Land Forum. We have our Avoya Travel Conference. And then we're bringing back for the second year, the $1 Million Showcase. So those are our big 3 events that we have, but don't worry, as Cherie mentioned, we have plenty of others that you can attend with us as well. So for the land forum, we're very excited to be going to Sandals Royal Bahamian in Nassau this coming June. We're taking our conference on board Norwegian Joy, sailing from Canada and into New England. So that should be a very exciting one. First time we've ever done an itinerary like that. So we're very excited. We also have new in-person events that we're bringing next year, or this year, I should say. Sorry, we're still in January. So we're bringing some regional events, and we're also bringing out some social events is what we're calling them. So we have 4 regional events that are going to be all across the United States. So we have one in San Diego, we're going to have some in Florida, we'll be in Texas, we'll be in Atlanta. So these are smaller 2-day events just to bring together our independent agencies and some suppliers and also Avoya staff for networking, engagement, education, all of that fun stuff. We also have our socials that I mentioned. These are, we want to bring the fun back in. So we have some time to just actually get together, network, play some games, have some food. It's really just about building and fostering those relationships that we love so much. Some virtual side of the events, we have a bunch of new ones that we're bringing out next year, or this year, I should say, sorry. We have our early success master classes. So we have 4 of those that are each themed for newer independent agencies. So we will start with some foundations and we'll kind of build from there. Those will bring together, again, suppliers and the independent agencies. And then we're also starting a new monthly series called Destination Days. So each month, starting in March, we will have a new destination that we're going to submerge ourselves in, where the independent agencies can really learn about that specific destination. We'll be going from Hawaii to the US, we'll be going to Europe via cruise, we'll be going to Europe via land, the Caribbean, kind of all across the globe. And I think the funnest part is we actually have little passports that we're going to be giving to attendees so that they can kind of cross it off their list after they've attended that event. So we have a lot going on this year and we're very, very excited. And our small but mighty team is ready to take on the challenge of all of those.
You better be ready, because if not, I got some bad news for you, because that is a lot on your plate. I mean, my head's spinning just thinking about the possibilities, and I'm on the other end of asking the questions. Maybe you could walk me through the process that goes into creating an event. I don't know, maybe our yearly conference or whatever one you guys want to pick for. But because I got to think there's a lot of things to consider when you put this together, right? You have to consider, obviously, Avoya Travel and our needs as a company, those in the Avoya network. You got to worry about the vendors that are participating. And it all has to kind of be a win-win-win for everybody, I would have to think.
Absolutely. The win-win-win is important. And so when we're creating an event, we really start with the who's it targeted to, why are we doing it, what are our goals to come from this? And we think about the audience, and it is different sometimes, the different events. If you think the new IA virtual events are geared towards agents who've been a year or less versus the $1 Million Showcase, which is exclusive for the more experienced agencies who are selling more than $1 million a year. So they're different tools that they need and what would help them in their own professional development from where they're starting. And so we want to provide those tools to help them grow and to be the best that they can be and want to do. Part of it is also understanding, and as a former small business owner, I understand it's a commitment from these IAs to their time and their resources to attend these different events. And so we want to make sure they're getting the biggest bang for their buck and getting the ROI they would want from that investment of their time and resources. So that's really important to us. And likewise, like you said, our suppliers and our partners there, they're investing their time and resources to be there, and we want to make sure that they are getting value and that we're presenting opportunities for them to spend time with the IAs and help educate them as well. So there is a definite balance of, and if we're going to a really great destination, we want to give people time to see the destination. And so there is a balance in that agenda and being able to provide all of those, meeting all of those checklists. But so yeah, there's a lot that goes into it in the thought process. We're not just trying to cut and paste and do the exact same thing. So It's fun.
Yeah, it's not cookie cutter, right? It's not like making those Christmas tree cookies or anything like that. You just stamp them in the dough and throw them in the oven and boom, you're off and running. We had somebody who's watching our webinar today ask if you could hit them again with the dates for the New England and I guess the national conference this year.
Absolutely. So conference is scheduled for this coming September. So it's September 25th through October 2nd. And we'll be starting in Quebec City, sailing to New York City.
That's pretty exciting.
Beautiful
stuff.
time of year to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would have to imagine that you put together an amazing event and you get home and you're tired and you're starting to think about the next event on the plate. And then you get that feedback. And it must be really rewarding for you guys to hear how those in the Avoya network have then taken the information and all that carefully planned and coordinated kind of stuff, applied it to their business, and they're starting to find success right out of the gate, right?
Absolutely. We always send a post-event survey too after every single event we have, and we love to hear the feedback, whether it's good or bad. Like, we want to know what the independent agencies and the suppliers want out of these events so that we can deliver it for them. So it's super important for us as a team to sit down and kind of review what everybody has said and make the next event even better. So if you are part of the Avoya network, or if you are planning on joining the Avoya network, definitely fill out those surveys that we send, because it's very important. We take it and we make it happen.
We're chatting with Cherie Graves, Director of Events for Avoya Travel, and Michelle Showalter, Manager of Events, in an exclusive Meet the Team segment today. All right, so I guess we're going to zero in even a little bit more on the Avoya conference because everybody's so excited about that. But I'm sure you're not only doing a deep dive into this year's event, but is the 2025 version already kind of circling in your world already?
We're trying.
We're thinking about it, we can't tell you anything, of course, because it's a secret.
But we're
Just
definitely
between
already...
you and me and a couple hundred people that are watching, I mean, geez.
Yeah, we're thinking about it and trying to raise more, like we said, every year. So
yeah, absolutely.
Lots of ideas.
And we're getting good questions today too. Lee Franks wants to know, when does the sign up for the land-based event in the Bahamas happen, right? You say words like sandals and New England in the fall, you're going to get a lot of ears perk up.
Yes, the land forum will we're hoping to open registration this week is our goal, but we have just switched brand new platforms for our registration and our virtual events literally like this week. So we're trying to get it out this week for land forum registration. So keep an eye out for it.
We love those in the Avoya network that participate in On Deck with Avoya, but we also love when those people who are not yet in our network, who may be new to travel, maybe with another host agency or franchise thinking about making a switch. So from their standpoint, I asked this question, is it too late for somebody to find their way to Avoya, become a member of the Avoya network, and still participate in some of these great events for 2024?
Absolutely not. It is not too late. You can definitely join us because, like we mentioned, we have so many opportunities happening in 2024. They can, if they join Avoya, they just have to finish some of the internal education that we have. And once they've completed all of that, they are welcome and ready to register for any of the Avoya events that we have happening throughout the year.
Fantastic. All right, let's talk about some fun stuff for a second, because I'm always curious if you ever get a chance to get out of the office with all those events you're planning. But what kind of fun things do you like to do, Cherie, when you get away? Any hobbies or activities that are a big part of your life?
I think my kids take up a lot of my free time. I love supporting both. I have two girls, both of their sports and activities. My 15-year-old is playing water polo for the first time, and she just had her first game this last weekend. So I love going and cheering her on and both of them on their activities. This is besides traveling, of course. I also like crafting and planning events for my own friends and family. So and hosting events and game nights.
Fun stuff.
Take it away.
What about you, Michelle?
I am also an artsy person. I love to do arts and crafts. 2020, that 1 year. I taught myself how to crochet, so I've been doing a lot of crocheting. So if you're in need of a blanket or maybe a beanie, I'm your girl.
Really good too.
But yeah, I love doing artsy stuff. Also going to different breweries in the area. My husband's a brewer, so we spend a lot of our time doing that, which is really fun.
Brewing and crocheting, I see like the future
I
right
mean,
there.
I could start a club.
You should absolutely start a club. What about personal trips? Anything fun and exciting that either of you have either been part of recently or you've got on the near horizon that you're excited about?
Actually, yeah, I just got back from Club Med Misha's in the Dominican Republic last month. It was kind of a last minute trip, and I took my girls, and it was beautiful, and it was really fun to experience a product that Avoya sells. And I've seen them present at different things, but to see the product firsthand was really great, and it was a beautiful destination. I'm doing France up next this spring and haven't figured out summer yet, but I'm sure there'll be a trip planned.
Definitely. And last year, we were able to go to Alaska for our conference, and that was my first time to Alaska. Minus the 19-foot seas, it was a great time. I absolutely loved the state. It was so beautiful and just feel so fortunate to be able to go there. Our next trip, me and my husband are planning a Christmas market river cruise. So that's been on the bucket list for a while. So we're very excited for that one coming up. Maybe not this year, but next year.
Sounds exciting. All right, just a couple left before we wrap up today, but I certainly wanted to give you an opportunity to maybe share some information that's vital from events that you think people either in our network or possibly thinking about our network should hear, or maybe something that we just haven't covered yet, guys.
So great question. What I think is so vital about it is just the relationship building. So being able to get there in person, you can even do it virtually, is to build the relationships, not only between independent agency to independent agency. We've had so many people find best friends for life at our events, but also to build those relationships with our supplier partners. It's so nice to be able to be there and be in person and get to know other people. And if you may be in a pinch sometimes, they're there to help you and they're there to assist. So I think relationship building is probably the most vital, and we love to be able to present opportunities for everyone in the network to have the time and the capability to do that.
Great answer. Absolutely. All right, so here we go. It's the big final question. We ask all of our guests the same question we have since the start of On Deck with Avoya. We think it's still vital as we kick off into 2024, and it's pretty simple stuff. All you know, your time in the industry, just your time as a person, talking to your friends. Are you excited about the future of leisure travel, and what would make you come to that conclusion?
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I think if anything from 2020 and being locked down is we learned how much we missed going out and making those experiences and memories that are really last a lifetime. It's cool seeing our travel suppliers. They're constantly enhancing the experience and with their brands and making things more personalized. And I think since the destinations have reopened with safety measures, and personally, I love seeing that the industry is embracing more sustainable practices. A lot of the reduction of the single-use plastic waste, and I've seen that on the cruise ships and hotels, and on the Club Med trip, their water bottles were glass water bottles that were sealed, and but they were refilled on site, and they had their own bottling station, and then around the property they had refill stations, and that was really exciting to see. So the plastic use is incredible, and so to see the effort being made to make travel more sustainable is really exciting. I think it's exciting to be part of an industry where we're making people's dreams come true, really, and providing them with memories that are going to last them a lifetime.
Anything you want to add to that, Michelle?
I think Cherie got it. I'm so excited about the future of leisure travel, and it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. We'll just forget about what happened in 2020. Just very excited again to be able to get out and see the world. The world has so much to offer us. So excited.
For sure. Cherie Graves and Michelle Showalter, everyone, director and manager of events, respectively, for Avoya Travel. So great to have you both on the show. Thank you for your time, just for making time to be with us, because as busy as you have to be.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Absolutely. Hey, next week, we have one of our biggest shows ever for On Deck with Avoya as we welcome in industry icon Robert Sullivan, Chief Commercial Officer, President for North Star Travel Group. That's the travel company behind things like Travel Weekly and Travel Pulse. So they put on the big cruise world in the fall. They put on the Travies, the Magellan Award, which we're so proud of, comes from everybody over at North Star Travel Group. Bob's been kind enough to sit down with us, give us some time for his current thoughts on our state-of-the-art industry, share his extensive knowledge, and we're just very honored. He's going to be our exclusive guest next week right here for On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. And we can't wait to welcome Bob to the program for that. Hey, we just want to let you know that we have our ongoing military promotion. Of course, the $100 off both the education curriculum and to affiliate with Avoya, depending on where you are in the situation. It's for not only those actively serving their country, but retired and their spouses as well. My team, the team from the education team, more than happy to get you qualified for that. Reach out at avoyanetwork.com. Speaking of the education platform, still doing just gangbuster business, still having their wave season sale. Again, starting as low as $372. It's an amazing program. It's done amazing work in helping people make a true difference in the launch of their business in the last year. If you want to sell more, if you want to generate more in commissions, if you want to be able to position yourself as an industry leader faster out of the gate, this is the kind of program that you need to take in order to get the right foundation to build the right level of success. Again, at avoyanetwork.com, you can get a lot of information. And then it goes right into the resources that you're able to access as somebody in the Avoya network, right? Talk about professional freedom. Nothing feels more free as being a business owner in a successful industry where people want to talk to you. They want your assistance. They realize doing it on their own doesn't always make sense. You want a professional when a professional is going to make things better for you. When you're on vacation, the number one currency you have is time, and a travel agent can give you the most value for that time. And Avoya Travel, our resources can give them the chance to make it even better for you with our agent power and our live leads and the dedicated agency support. Again, my team more than happy to give you all those details. Reach out at avoyanetwork.com. Make sure you give us a follow, make the bell ring, and give us all of that good stuff on social media. We're on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and YouTube. You can find all of our past shows there. Again, at Avoya Travel Network on social media. Or go old-fashioned. Love getting those emails. Love getting those phone calls. Chris.Green at avoyatravel.com is the way to reach me individually. They're going to pop my fancy telephone number up on the screen. There we go. Or you can just reach out at avoyanetwork.com and get connected with somebody on my team. Bob Sullivan next week. I can't wait for that interview. Thank you again to Cherie Graves and Michelle Showalter for that great conversation about events. Thanks to Annabella for producing our show today. Thank you for being part of On Deck with Avoya. Until next week, take care, everyone.